The inaugural Fire-Up Gala supporting SickKids Hospital's Burn and Plastics Unit is happening this Friday, February the 24th at the Ritz-Carlton. 50% of all funds raised will go directly to the Burn and Plastics Unit, and the other half will go to the SickKids Foundation. So a worthy cause indeed. And joining us now with more information on the gala and about common burns and how to treat them, Dr. Joel Fish from the Burn Program and Plastic and Reconstructive Surgery at SickKids Hospital. Good morning, Dr. Fish. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you. Good morning.
So let's start with how common and wide-ranging burn injuries can be. This is, no doubt something no parent really wants to think about, but does need to know. On average, how many patients does SickKids treat for burns in a year?
Well, you're absolutely right. We see more than 400 families a year, more than one a day with a fresh acute burn. The vast majority of these, as you're probably well aware, are preventable, which is one of the reasons why we're doing this segment today, to talk a little bit about prevention and just to raise some awareness. There's so many simple things that you can do to avoid this with your child.
So what are some of the most common household causes of burn injuries? How are these children getting burned the most?
So it's the kitchen. In your home, those are the most common places for children. We know that anything that has heat, and the most common one, unfortunately, is one of the most common things we use, and that are tea, coffee, hot liquids, stove doors, glass-fronted fireplaces are a real danger and something that we have really advocated safety around. They remain hot for hours and hours after they're even turned off, which is when they're usually the most dangerous. And even simple things such as stove doors. All of these things are mostly in the kitchen, occasionally in the bathroom, and they're mostly skull burns. That's the vast majority of what we see coming through our doors.
So if you do suffer a burn at home or out in public, Dr. Fish, what are some ways that you can treat a burn yourself? And also, when does a burn cross over from minor into needing medical treatment?
So, the basic treatment at home, we suggest to people, one thing that everybody forgets is remove the clothing, especially if it's a small child, because it holds the heat. It will deepen the burn, so that's a simple thing. You need to cool it under water, room temperature water for 20 minutes, then put just on a clean cloth, anything that's clean, or a towel, and then either visit your nearest hospital, call a healthcare facility. We don't concern ourselves at that stage about the depth of the burn. It can take days or even sometimes a couple of weeks until we actually know the depth, but they are painful. The children are going to need some care. And it's so important that we just adhere to basic first aid. The ones that get cooled, the ones that get this kind of treatment, they often do better.
Okay, so now let's switch gears a bit and talk about the gala, the first ever Fired-Up Gala happening this Friday at the Ritz-Carlton, supporting the work that you do, supporting the SickKids Burn and Plastics Unit. Can you tell us about this and what people can expect for the evening?
So in terms of the evening, we have a parent that is giving back to the community who came forward long time. The pandemic has really held up this event. The Fired-Up Gala is really a way of saying we support the burn program and the Hospital for Sick Children. We understand there's a need for surgical equipment updating. There's a need to re-spark the research program in this very important regional program for the entire province. And this gala is something that was put together by a parent who just said, I don't want this to happen to any other child or any other family. And we want you to have these funds so that you can do the things that the government doesn't provide for and to maintain what is an excellent international program.
So again, 50% of all funds raised go to the unit and the other 50 go to the foundation. Before we let you go, how can folks go about purchasing tickets?
So I think there is a website that is up there. I believe that a lot of these tickets are sold. We are so happy for the organizers. It was a real shot. This is the first year doing this. They had no idea how many tickets were going to be there, but there's also there's the full event, and at the end of the evening, I believe later, there are separate tickets that you can come. If you just want to come and show your support, you can show up for a couple of drinks at the end and some music.
That
It
takes
proves
us
to be
time.
The first hint of trouble.